1994, the world is controlled by one power.
Welcome to the Lost Classics. Well, it's getting to be that time of the year again. The leaves are going brown, Halloween's around the corner, and for us deadheads there's only one place to be this October bank holiday weekend. The annual Horrorthon festival is on from the 21st to the 25th of October up in the IFI in Dublin. It's always a great festival and this year is definitely no exception. They've got 2 Irish films, 3 Australian films, a Greek video nasty, a German zombie film. First up though is the sequel to last year's surprise film. Paranormal Activity looks pretty good actually. There's good buzz going at the moment for it, and the trailer looks pretty good. I wonder how they're going to explain how Katie survived the last one, or was it the alternate ending? I'm trying not to give away any spoilers right in this preview video, but it looks pretty good and it's well worth checking out. I know it's going out nationally the same day, but really there's only one place to watch all the horror films, and that's with a whole bunch of other deadheads. So yeah, you know, that's definitely worth checking out. Next up is the French film The Pack. Well, here's a story that reads like a mix of such genre classics as The Hills Have Eyes, Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Wolf Creek. The plot seems to fix on a woman who picks up a hitchhiker, only to end up getting kidnapped by the hitchhiker's mother, who uses her to feed this family of mutants. And there's a really good creature design involved. The mutants with their exposed mandibles, I guess, depending on your age, you'll think it either looks like the original Predator or elites from the Halo series. To me, they actually look like a humanoid version of the two-legged graboids from the Tremors sequels, you know, Tremors 2 and Tremors 3 Return to Perfection. It looks interesting though, and it's the first of 2 French movies that I'm really looking forward to seeing this Horrorthon. I just hope they're not like Martyrs. That was way too hardcore for me, I have to admit. The whole Horrorthon this year seems to be in honour of Dario Argento, so it seems only fitting that they show Carrie. Carrie is probably the most Argento-like in terms of style and colour palette American film that I've ever seen anyway. If you've seen one that's more like, say, like Suspiria or anything, just jeez, email me. I'd love to hear the recommendation. But if you haven't seen Carrie yet, you're in for a real treat. No spoilers or anything, so we won't talk about parts of it. But it's actually one of the rare good Stephen King adaptations, and I'm sure if you took out Stand By Me and Shawshank Redemption, it's probably the best Stephen King adaptation that's out there. One of the real treats of this festival is actually going to be watching Charles Laughton's Night of the Hunter on the big screen. If you haven't seen the film, definitely check it out. It's on just during the day. Even if you're not a horror fan, you're just around Dublin for the day, go into the IFI and check it out. It's a brilliant film. Robert Mitchum, he's absolutely mesmerising in it as a preacher. No spoilers or anything, but there's one scene in it that's set underwater, depicts an image underwater, and I think I saw it when I was about 13 or 14, and it stayed with me. It's a great film. It actually plays like a child's nightmare. It's a really good film. Next up is Shadow. It's an ominous title for Federico Zampaglioni's film. Sorry if I didn't say that right. It's the story of an Iraq war vet who goes hiking in the Alps only to find horrors that are just beyond what his combat experiences were. This film has been described as Jacob's Ladder meets The Descent, so I'm in trouble anyway. You know, both of those films really freaked me out. The Descent, with the scene where the girl's caught under the cave, I mean, that was pretty bad. And Jacob's Ladder is just an amazing film. If you've never seen it, check it out. If you've ever played the Silent Hill films, Jacob's Ladder's for you, for definite. Next up is Island of Death, which is a Greek video nasty from '75. The director Nico Mastrovakis, again sorry for pronunciation, he'll be on hand to guide us through it anyway. So from what I've read about it, it's inspired by the Texas Chainsaw Massacre film. And the details are that it's about a couple named Celia and Christopher and their journey, so to speak, of over-the-top depravity. Basically rape, torture and murder, so that's going to be a great film. Texas Chainsaw Massacre influence is significant anyway, because from what I've read about it, you don't see everything on screen, so it's not just, say, for the torture porn out there or anything like that, but it is one of the video nasties, and that's a topic that'll actually come up later in the festival. Primal is the first of the 3 Australian films being shown. It's directed by Josh Reed. I haven't read too much about it or anything yet, but I'm interested to see it. Josh Reed's the son of Long Weekend's Colin Eggleston, the guy who directed Long Weekend. So I know it could be cool. Oh god, uh, the Apple. Jeez. Yeah, this is going to be a real fun one. Don't know if you remember, but last year they showed a film called Samurai Cop, and it was one of those so bad it's actually kind of good. This film's by Menahem Golan, and I think Globus as well was involved. They're the guys who ran the Canon films. I talked about them before in the Delta Force review, and actually Menahem Golan went on to direct the Delta Force, so that's kind of giving you a hint of what you have to look forward to. From what I've seen of this film, and you just saw a little clip of it there at the start of this video, it looks like a cocktail of fame, Rocky Horror, and Breakdance the movie. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting one for sure. Next up is Finale. There's no real great reviews for it yet, but I haven't seen too much about it on the net, but I'm going to keep an open mind. The Amityville Horror. Now, this is actually one of this is a pretty good film, I have to say. If you haven't seen it, or you've only seen like the Ryan Reynolds starring remake, I think you definitely owe it to yourself to get out and watch it. Talking of Get Out, the actual scene, oh, it's brilliant. I know it's been taken, I know it's actually been copied and parodied, you know, ad infinitum, and if you saw James Woods in Scary Movie 2, you'll definitely know what I'm on about there. But it's a pretty good, it's a good film actually. It is a very good film, I think. If as preparation for it though, you should check out. There's a documentary. I know it came on the American disc for the Amityville Horror, but I think it's on YouTube as well. It's a documentary about the supposed real life haunting of Amityville, and I'm telling you, there's a lady paranormal investigator in it. I can't remember what her name is, but watch the video and tell me she doesn't look like a cat. I mean, her eyes, she just freaked me right out when I watched it. I think she actually freaked me out more than the film. So yeah, I'm either running the film down or running her down. So I'm kind of getting myself into trouble there anyway, aren't I? Oh well. But the Amityville Horror is great, and if you ever get a chance, if you're ever pondering around a second-hand bookshop or anything, look out for Jay Anson's The Amityville Horror. It's a pretty good book. It's supposedly true or anything, but I mean, Jay Anson's come out about it and said count and just bloated it. But it's a good book actually, and the film. Next up is Altitude. Well, the poster looks ominous anyway. We got a bunch of tentacles chasing a plane through a storm. Oh man, fingers crossed it's not what I think it is. Though I reckon that actually might be cool with the Horrorthon crowd. And I don't know, I wrote this down in the text preview. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but I'm sick of the amount of monsters that are just a bunch of tentacles. I mean, we had it in Hellboy. I think the Satan was a bunch of tentacles in it, and we had the Watcher in the Water from Fellowship of the Ring. We had Deep Rising, the Kraken in Pirates of the Caribbean. I mean, everything, even Cloverfield. I mean, finally we got to see it at the end. That was cool, but it seems like every monster nowadays just seems to be the Sarlacc from Return of the Jedi, and they just give it more tentacles and even more teeth, or more rows of teeth. So fingers crossed it'll actually be a cool monster. I know that's not fair, because I mean, Cloverfield was actually a good monster, and The Mist had some pretty good monsters, but I don't know, I mean, as long as it's not just a bunch of tentacles again, we have another octopus or anything, that's how I feel about it. Excellent. We actually have Phenomena coming up, which is really good. Phenomena, Dario Argento's film from '85. It was actually released prior to now. I mean, it's been released uncut by Anchor Bay lately, but it was actually released in edited form as a film called Creepers. And I remember seeing it back in the mid '90s or late '90s, and it was pretty good actually. It was a really good supernatural film. It's definitely worth the price of admission alone for Donald Pleasance's role. I mean, the guy's, you can put Donald Pleasance in anything and he'll actually elevate it, and he's hammy as hell, but he's just brilliant, you know. He's one of the talents that I guess is really missed. That is definitely really missed, but it's also Jennifer Connelly's first leading role, and I know I wrote about this in the text review, but I mean, she had just an amazing start to her career. She appears in Sergio Leone's Once Upon a Time in America, which is a phenomenal film. I know, Phenomena. no pun intended. But then she appears in this Argento film, and that's fantastic. I think following that, they're showing Spiderhole, which is the first of two Irish films. I know this one was actually filmed in London, but come on, it's an Irish film, let's go see it, you know. It's the tale of four homeless art students who are squatting in an abandoned house in London. So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm hoping it's a bit like Session 9. That was a really cool film from a few years ago. I mean, I love watching any films that are made in Ireland anyway. I mean, I just, whatever, you can support your own. Then there's the remake of I Spit on Your Grave. To be honest with you, I don't think I'll be watching this one. The original's one of those, it's a rape revenge film, and it's pretty much the poster boy of the Video Nasties. Again, we'll talk about that in a few minutes. But yeah, I think it's just going to go for depravity, and the same way as they remade Last House on the Left. I'm going to avoid it, but if you're into it, I'd say go ahead. But strong stomach's a necessity. Next up is Birdemic. They say a picture tells 1,000 words. For me, this one just screams Photoshop. Well, that and the Birds Meets Apocalypse Now. Is it just me, or do the birds actually look like they must be, crapping napalm? I mean, it's startling. It really is. A friend of mine who usually goes to Horrorthon, he's out in New Zealand now, and he saw it out there. He just said that it's not great. The dodgy effects were his major complaint, but hopefully it'll be fun anyway. Then we have the German movie Siege of the Dead. The tagline for this film is hide and seek with zombies, so that's me catered for anyway. You just mention of the dead or zombies and I end up watching it, could be anything. But it actually, it looks pretty okay. It's a bit off topic, but when I was actually just looking this up on the net, an image of Takeshi B. Kitano came up, and I just remember thinking, I mean, how cool would that be actually, B. Kitano in a German zombie film? Oh man, that'd be amazing. I mean, I'm sure to win at least 2 Oscars, but here's hoping anyway, Well, that's all for now, but stay tuned for part 2, where we'll have Killer Clowns, Video Nasties, Monsters, and Plan 9s from Outer Space.